What a day, right? I know. How exciting was today?
You don't have to have a conversation without stuttering. Come on. Slow down.
Yeah, right?
Ooh.
Ooh.
I can hear myself.
I can hear yourself? I can hear myself think. And it's so loud. Ow, why did you do that? We're not syncing audio here.
What's up, Ryan from Cali? Hey, James,
All right.
Christian, Victor, how you guys doing today? I know, right? It's Friday, and we're live for the second time because Dean was so excited.
So we had a lot of things happen today. So we had Mark and Matt Yeager and from my data.
Mm-hmm.
So they came in this morning. They were nice enough to buy us lunch, which was really cool. So just in case you were wondering what kind of lunch it was, we went. We had Jimmy John's, which is personally one of my favorites. I mean, Tijuana Flats, big fan, but for something quick where they just deliver it to me, Jimmy John's is by far the best.
What's up, David?
And plain turkey with lettuce and onion only. No mayo, no cheese, no nothing.
I like the Beach Club.
Yeah, and they both had Italians.
Yeah, Italians.
Yeah, so it was fun. We had a little lunch.
Anthony Car Audio, what's up? What's up, Richard?
I started watching his last vlog. Yes, last night.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, no, I did. I was watching it last night. And I will say this.
That's right, David.
I will say this about Anthony's videos is that they are getting better and better each time. Noticeably better each time. And that's what I like to see is like, cause like I look at like our videos from 6 years ago and they're a train wreck. You know, he's growing a lot faster as far as his ability to edit and make relevant content and do fun stuff than obviously we did, because you know there wasn't anyone to look at back then other than Steve and Mark. So right. You know, but yeah, he's doing a really good job. I'm really getting into that.
Yes, definitely.
You guys doing steering wheel controls in a 10 to 13 Mazda 3 with Bose? Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, David?
There again, if you have trouble with steering wheel controls, the easiest thing to do is go to the App Store, either Android or iPhone, and download the PAC Audio, so PAC, Control Pro app. All right, so it's this guy right here, Control Pro. Whether you're using theirs or not, I would prefer to use theirs. But like the CP2, you can type in the information.
Hey, Jason from Stereo King.
Hey, buddy. Mazda 3?
Just check him out.
It's just a Mazda 3.
YouTube.
Yeah. Here, we'll say 2012 right there in the middle.
What's up from Vegas? What's up, guys?
Sure. We'll say Alpine. Select next. And then it tells you how to set your dip switches.
Yeah.
And then when you select next, it'll go through and it'll give you any notes that you need, a picture of the harness and where it goes. And then as you scroll up, it tells you like secondary harnesses. So I know it's kind of a wash right now, but trust me, you can download. They also have a web app available too if you go to pac-audio.com. Even Access has a web app as far as that goes. So it's
all right.
Cool.
Can you bridge channels on the Alpine?
I want a CD. You know, DM me, car gift. I'll take care of you.
Can you bridge channels on the Alpine BXE 0850?
No, you cannot. It's a IC power chip amplifier, just like the kind you have in your radio. The only thing you can't. So because of that, there's no bridging of any channels at all. It's straight up 8 channels flat. So like in my car, 1 and 2 are front. 1 and 2 are front. 3 is center. 4 and 5 are rear, and then hold on. 1 and 2 are front, 3 is center, 4 is nothing, 5 and 6 are rear, 7 and 8 are the rear subs. So FYI, the CP2 app and colors are not always correct, but pin locations usually are. Oh yeah, always go by the pins for sure, Jason. That is cool. We were actually having that conversation with Mark today because of the Mustang kit. iData always calls it a blue-yellow wire, and
orange.
Blue-orange. And we're like, it's not blue-orange. Okay, stop saying blue-orange. Just give us pin 14 was what you need. Pin 14, because we've done 3 Mustangs, 2 this week, and they were all white. And how we figured it out was using the pack app to tell us what the appropriate color was. So he was over there doing this.
Bye, Victor. Thank you for watching.
I will take care of it. Yes, we have another Camaro. I know, we started out the week with a silver Camaro, and we're ending the week with a silver Camaro. This is like a 13 or 14.
Well, we still have tomorrow, man.
Yeah,
slow down.
Well, yeah, well, okay. That's true. Good call. Well, I mean, ending the week as far as the shows go.
All right, looks like Jeff redeemed himself. Yes, and you can get a T-shirt from Teesprings. Like, where's my CD, Jeff? Yes,
you can
get that.
Where did we put the little round? Is it
over there?
Oh, it's over here.
Oh, that's where you put it.
Oh yeah, this one. Yeah. So for Christmas, we gave Jeff a sign.
Just put it next to your shirt.
A sign that says this. I know the Jeff Smith, and on the back we made a shirt like this. It's all Star Wars colors and whatnot. And on the back it says, "Where's my CDs, Jeff?" And I gave him one. Of course, we had a shirt printed for him, Haley, Fernando, me, and so because of that, he got the hint. So we got a box of CDs. I don't know why I brought them over here, because we're not giving these away today.
Not today, but just to
we
show.
Got CDs.
Just to show they
so
actually.
Anybody caught when he was here live? If you caught when he was here live, we were showing those 2 radios or the old
stickers.
We
got stickers right there. No, so.
So the reason why why we have his old school radios is because he has a little Honda Prelude, and he wants to make a flush panel out of black acrylic, because that's old school style dash panels. So I mocked this up real quick just to get an idea of how it's going to look. So this is going to be the start of his new dash panel. What we're going to probably do, I had to get these corners because they're radius, so we had to figure out what those were. We made little tiny squares to figure that out. We're probably going to shift this up just a little bit and tighten that up, and then over here in the corner we'll put Alpine with the cool little things. So that'll be cool, and then we'll take out the cigarette lighter and put a black acrylic circle there so that we can put a USB into the hole.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's the start of it. The EQ will go here, and that now I still have to. If you guys caught the MTF1 kit or the Raptor kit that we did, we built off the panel. So we're gonna have to do all that with this too, because we need to remove this so that we can build all the screws for the radios and then have it screw back in place. Lots of fun.
Hey, José de Jesús, vamos a estar en California el 7.
6.
That's the 7th?
6th, 7th. So we'll be there on the 6th. So
vamos a estar el 6.
Thursday the 6th.
El 6 de febrero hasta el 9 de febrero vamos a estar en California, Long Beach, California. Vamos a estar ahí.
10-inch or 12-inch shallow?
I go with the 10.
Yeah, I like the 10s. I like the 10s. I mean, if I got the room, I'm gonna go 12s, but I like the 10s. Just seem to work better. We get our heat shrink, Jason, from wirecare.com.
You text him the link.
I know, but he's asking, so.
No, I'm just saying.
5-star car stereo, never mind.
The real deal.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm trying to right here.
Hey, Bobby. Yep.
Okay, would you guys mind doing a short video on installing RCAs? Like, what kind of video?
No, I mean, what part of installation do you need to know?
Like we have a.
No, I'm there.
Oh, my bad. And see, I got.
Well, I mean, there again. I mean, as far as RCAs go, I mean, we talk. Okay. So maybe like, I mean, I don't. Like a really in-depth video, maybe, of how we run wiring down the side of cars.
Yeah, but John talk about.
Well, I don't think he wants to know about RCAs per se. Maybe just like
Bobby.
Like, because a lot of the times, like, we'll show the amp rack, we'll show it going in, and then we'll talk about like the wires are going this way and the wires are going that way. But we don't always get really like deep into like pulling up the floor sills and showing how all the painstaking process of actually putting the wiring where it needs to go so that it doesn't interfere with everything else. So yeah, I kind of get that. Yes, Bobby, don't worry. I thought about it all last night while I was editing. Tonight I don't edit, so you're first on my list. I might even just call you. Because honestly, I hate texting.
All right, so the real deal, he actually said, do the original radios in 1996 Ford Ranger have fuses on the back of them?
No. Ford Rangers? No, they do not have fuses on the back of them.
I don't think any factory radio.
No, there's a couple.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but usually they're European.
Texas.
What brand RCAs do you recommend? So as you can see behind us, the Wall Stinger is the brand that is our brand of choice when it comes to RCAs. There are plenty of good RCAs out there from other manufacturers. Those are just the ones that we use because I like them.
All right. We don't use any software design for boxes. We don't do boxes. We don't build boxes. But you can check Mark.
Well, we'll design a box for it, but no, there is a software.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, no, Doggy, I can't...
I don't remember which one.
Because I have it downloaded somewhere, but I don't ever use it. But Doug, email Doug. And see which one, or just type in Doug Builds a Box, because there's a couple videos where Doug Soundman actually shows you using the software. It's free to download. I'm sure somebody in here knows the software I'm trying to think of, so at some point someone's just going to type in the box software for me. When SD. See, Johnny? Look, see, I knew someone. So that's the one.
Speaker adapters.
That's what you want to download. When ISD is the software of choice. Thank you. See?
Thank you.
That's why crowdsourcing. Gotta love it. I can't remember everything.
And Jason, too. There you go.
Thank you, Jason. Yeah. For 2018 Silverado with Bose, and I want the tuner to work, should I use an LC7i to integrate into the car because I'm doing bass? No, for 2018 Silverado without Bose, you want the tuner to work. I mean, the tuner still works, okay? And there again, it's a hit or miss, or buy Bass Box Pro. Yeah, that one costs money. Here's the deal. If you want to use an LC7i, perfectly fine. Go right ahead. You're going to have all the headaches that come from the signal. The LC7i is going to do its job, but nothing else is going to do its job, meaning you're going to have bass roll-off, you're going to have a loud-ass chime. It's just not going to be a fun situation. If your car has... Bass Box Pro is a little bit easier. All right, so there we go. See, conversation. If your car has CarPlay, it's 2018, so my guess is that it does. You got to remember, HD radio, or I'm sorry, what is it? No, what's the freaking app? Tuner, for your tuner. The radio station.
XM?
No, the other one, the free one.
Spotify, Pandora.
No, the other one, the third one. All the hockey stuff's on that. I don't even know. I don't even listen to it. I don't listen to the tuners, so I don't know. But all the radio stations are on it. When we listen to the radio, they're always talking about how cool they are. Anyways, most of the stuff you can get tuner-wise over CarPlay, or Android Auto for that matter.
Tune in.
What?
Tune in.
I don't know.
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio. Thank you.
Oh,
yes.
Jason is the winner.
Yes. So iHeartRadio. So iHeartRadio will play all your radio stations for you. So thank you. So even if you're like a tuner fan and there's something you need to listen to in stereo. I mean, I get it. It's a lot easier. And there again, remember, it's only a 50-50 shot that you're going to have that issue. There's been plenty of times where we've done that and we haven't had to flick the dip switch. It's worked fine. So, you might get lucky.
All right. Do you have a target RTA curve when tuning, or do you tune for the flat RTA curve?
No, we have a target curve that we use. Yeah, so there's a target RTA that a curve that I like to see. Obviously it's kind of bass centric or mid bass centric because I like mid bass, and then it dips down in between. In the 500 is always my lowest point because I'm not a big fan of that frequency, and most people aren't either. And if you are, good for you. So it kind of dips there, and then it just kind of levels off after that until it goes naturally rolls back down. Somewhere around 8 or 10 at all, the signals always just kind of roll off.
Look at that right here.
I'm late because I got new laptop for our class. Hopefully you got a Mac and you're using the right software. Big fan of Keynote. Takes like 5 minutes to make a PowerPoint presentation. If not, I talk to Haley and Sue because they're way better at it than I am. Dude, they teach you PowerPoint in school now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can get a Windows certification for PowerPoint. What did that say?
Sí, Ricardo.
I'm sorry.
Sí, José, eso es lo que vamos a hacer con Ricardo.
Right. Hold Jerome, I'm here in spirit only. Dang, that sucks. I got a Mac, homie. Perfect. Yeah, so you can just Ad and I are teaching a class at Knowledge Fest called the Modern Dash or something like that, where we basically divide the class into groups. We give each the groups an assignment, and a lot of the times it's like a lot of the questions you guys ask here is kind of the assignment. So like picture like a group of like 5 or 10 installers, and they have a car, and they have to figure out how to spend a customer, we give them a criteria, like you can't replace the head unit, you have to integrate into it, find an integration solution, then build them a system accordingly. You have X amount of money, this is what you charge per hour. And the whole idea behind it is that you're working with, strangers, and you have to crowdsource out the information, and that like you can call a friend. So like last year we had somebody call Jason Digos. Dean's drinking protein. No, this is some hey at Sue's drink crap. I go and running, so this makes me go run.
So Bobby Felix.
I get my 7-minute miles. But so the idea of the class is so that we can, we walk around as moderators. Apparently we're smarter than them. Not, anyways. And the idea is for us to kind of like help them and teach them about Ant Pro and Nav TV and using interfaces and AR and just oddball like access make stuff, so that they actually have to do the work instead of just going onto one of the forums and going, hey, does anybody know how to do this? It's like, do some research, guys. So it's kind of fun. Dean, you sound very tired today. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very tired today. This has been a long week.
I got a DMX 906X.
Cool.
Unit. I totally lost it.
You should just skip ahead. Get to the actual question. Seems like it's a Parker brake. Can you give me guidance? It's a Kenwood. Light green wire gets grounded. Yep. That's it. That's all there is to it. There's no ifs, ands, buts, or crazy thoughts behind it. You ground the light green wire, and it's over. There's no on, off, on. They're the easiest one. Speaker adapters for 2015 Toyota Corolla. Toyota adapters we get from Metra. So metraonline.com.
Mm-hmm.
Chances are good. They only make like one for a 6.5.
No, they make.
Well, no, just for. Well, they have
yeah, that's Toyota Corolla. Yes.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So it's. I mean, it should be listed, but there's
the
two
other
there.
ones.
Are those the same?
No, like all the way in the back.
Okay, so just go to metraonline.com, type in your make, model, and year, and you should have it. Oh yes, we're in Clearwater Forest. Thank you,
Cali,
Bobby.
Colombia. Woo! Nice.
And then Thursday, the 6th of November, we'll be in Long Beach. We'll be heading out with Bobby. We're going to the Peterson, so we'll be at the Peterson probably from 10 till 2, maybe. And then we'll head back over to the hotel. Do you remember which hotel it is?
Yes, it's the Westin.
The Westin there in Long Beach. Yeah. Where we'll be hanging out until the wee hours in the morning. So if anybody wants to stop by and get a lanyard or say hi,
I don't know how.
Or if you're going to be at Knowledge Fest, because like that was your only thing, we'll be there to do anything. Do you know my customer won 3rd in SQ finals last year? Oh, that is awesome, Anthony. Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome.
It's a Disney weekend.
It is a Disney weekend. So actually, Ada and his family and my family, we're going to meet them tomorrow night at Magic Kingdom, and then we're going to spend Sunday with him and his family.
Not tonight.
Tomorrow. So that's why we're doing the show today, so that we can go do stuff other than car stereo. So pretty late. The Sonys are the same way. Oh, okay. Because of you guys, I bought a audio control 6-channel amp, and okay. It didn't disappear just like that. But that's good. 1800 today. I ordered my DM608. This channel makes me spend money. And I'm not going to lie, that's kind of the idea. I mean, we don't directly benefit from it other than, our partners that we have, such as Audio Control and everyone else like Kicker and Rockford and all that. Mm-hmm. The whole idea behind this channel at this point is to be a source of inspiration to get you to be like, this stuff is still fun and cool. Whose ever name is on it, it doesn't matter if you're into loud speakers, SPL type stuff. Mm-hmm. We don't care. It's all car audio to us, so it's all the fun. Speaking of fun, I talked to Eric last night.
You talked to Eric. Eric what?
Eric
Rockford?
Rockford.
Okay.
So for those of you that are into Rockford Fosgate, you'll be happy to know that on the 15th of February, We will have Eric here from Rockford. If you've ever caught any of their RIIA or RA, whatever, their training classes, he's the gentleman that is in charge of all their training. And what he's bringing with him is the Prime amplifiers. So we get to, yep, he's bringing a Prime amp. So we get to look at the new Prime amp, check out the design, talk all about how cool it is. One thing that we did find out is not stop-start. So as much as we thought it was going to be stop-start, apparently that was somehow lost in translation. Somebody didn't understand what stop-start was when they said it had it. So it's not, but it has all kinds of other fun stuff. So I talked to him last night while I was running. He goes, he was on his way to his biology class.
Okay.
And he was like, "Are you running?" I'm like, "Yeah." So we talked for about 2.5 miles.
That's pretty cool. All right, 5-star. Have you guys done a full desktop PC integration into a build?
No.
For making rolling media presence?
No, I haven't done, no. I mean, years ago they had the in-car PC type thing. And, the CRV nut pod. And no, we looked into doing that. There was one guy that like brought one in and we hooked it all up and we're like, yeah, we're out. So, yeah, there again, what are you gonna do? I mean, it's a car you drive. Pay attention to the road. You know, that's the whole purpose of CarPlay and Android Auto is to get us. Which is funny because I actually spend more time, now that I have those features, I spend more time looking at my radio, so it's almost like I still love my factory radio that didn't do anything other than volume up, volume down, which is how I feel a radio I just want a knob. Although I do like being able to just say play this. So like right now I'm listening to the new Halsey record that just came out, and I say record kind of funnily. Yeah, anyways, you get the point. So I'm listening to Halsey right now. So when I got in, because she was on Jimmy Fallon the other night, and I was like, ooh, she got a new album, kind of dig her music. So I got in and I said, hey, play Halsey. And it just started playing her new album, and I was like, pfft. So all week, that's all I've been listening to. It's freaking awesome.
Armand, Scar Audio, what's up? All right, right here, I have this one. And a 4th generation RAM, 09 to 20 classic bass. 6-speaker system. Are front doors full range or just mids and highs going to the dash? So if the rears are full range.
If it's a classic and it doesn't have anything on it that says any specific brand, meaning it doesn't say Alpine, it doesn't say Harman, it doesn't say anything like that, the sound coming out of the radio is full range. It doesn't matter if it's the 3.5 in the dash or the 6x9 in the door. And you can easily tell that too by putting your ear to the 6x9 in the door, and it will play all the way up, although it will naturally roll off because it's not a component speaker, or it's not a coaxial by any means, so it just stops playing. But yeah, it's just full range front and rear. If it has any form of amplifier denoted on it whatsoever, then the front doors are going to be the subwoofers for the car.
All right, do you guys see any reason for a guy to remove a speed wire and run 12 or 14 gauge wire to the speakers? I feel I should do this, but wondering if it's pointless.
I'm gonna go on the pointless category. Now I'll be the first guy to tell you I'm a wire nut. When I wired up my Dodge Ram previously to the car I own, I had the amplifier that I was using, which was a Kenwood at the time, had the cool little motorized amp covers. It had 4-gauge power output. So Stinger hooked me up with tons of wire and distribution blocks, and I was like, because they just make me a list, and I was like, okay. So I made like a really stupid list, and then the shit all showed up. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I had 4-gauge wire coming out of that, going to 8-gauge to 410s, which is like what a lot of these guys do when they're building like 700 subwoofer type systems. So I'm a big fan of big power wire, whether it be speaker or whether it be not. But is it totally necessary other than to make you sleep better at night and just feel like, dude, I got 12 gauge going in my door. Good for you. No, it's totally not necessary. I mean, unless you have like 600 watts going into each door, and there again, that's an exaggeration, you're fine with the speed wire. We've run plenty of systems through speed wire and plenty of systems without speed wire.
Just make sure you grab the 100% copper. That's it. Because
she is a good singer. She's and that's what really and Halsey. She's a good singer. So like she was doing some like off the cuff singing on Jimmy Fallon, and I was like, with no auto-tune, which I hate auto-tune. That's why I can't listen to modern music, because everything is auto-tune. I believe now that musicians aren't even musicians. I look at them as tools for mastering guys, the guys that sit there and play with Pro Tools all day long. I think they just take a voice as like a Pro Tool. Like it's just a tool. They drop it into place and they manipulate just like I do with video cuts. And they auto-tune the crap out of it, and everyone sounds like they're singing underwater. It just sucks. But Halsey has a really good voice, and she doesn't have instruments, but hey, whatever.
All right, so Jason, we are going to Europe this year.
No money for car audio either, Bobby. Oh, hey, but you're going to have a good time in Europe, and family is way cooler than car audio.
And then Europe, man.
I mean, I think there's a lot cooler places to go here in the U.S., but I get it. I mean, if you're into looking at old buildings and green pastures and stuff like that,
Europe,
like,
it's
hey,
awesome.
look, it's Eiffel Tower, Big Ben, Parliament.
That's the Big Ben.
Yeah. So, anyways, what's your thoughts on Cadence Audio 6.5 components? I've done like one pair of those over the years, and yeah, they're good. I mean, it wasn't like anything I go, these are the worst. No, I mean, it's just like it wasn't memorable, so to speak. But yeah.
All right, have you tested for wattage?
Okay, so that's a great question. So there was 2 tests we wanted to do this week, but we were extremely busy. One of them was to test the efficiency difference between passive through a crossover and active out of a DSP. We have how we're going to do it, so we mapped out how that's going to happen. But the other test we wanted to do was testing the output of a radio going to a multi-channel amplifier. I was led to believe over years and years of doing this, and I was not the only one. Jeff Smith was, when we were talking, he was like, yeah, that shouldn't work that way. So that, and the question had come up because Sundown had came out and said, no, 4 volts out, doesn't matter how many times you split it off, it'd be 4 volts out. And I was like, that's strange because we were always told differently. And I talked to Jeff, and he was like, yeah, that's strange because yeah, none of us have ever really tested it per se. So we had an extra hour and a half one day, and so I was like, I want to do this test first. So we grabbed an 8-channel amplifier. We voltage matched the outputs. We voltage DD1 the output of the radio, so that everything was jiving. We put 8 pairs of Y jacks in there, and we tested the output voltage of the amplifier to see if anything changed, and it didn't. So, yes, apparently 4 volts out, it's 4 volts out. Doesn't matter how many times you Y it off and go crazy with it. Didn't matter. So, I'm assuming if you wind something off a decent... I mean, 20 amplifiers, there might be just because of the wire and all that. But, something like we were doing, there was no difference. So, we had the time to do that test. And no, we didn't film it because there wasn't anything compelling there to film other than to say, hey, this didn't do anything. So, no, the crossover thing, though, it's I wanted to get it done this week. We just didn't get time. So, but don't worry. That is a thing. We are going to do it. It is priority on our list to do it. It's just, we have to do these first because,
Well, yeah, always.
Got to pay the house payment. How small of a screwdriver do you need to depin a harness? So, actually, you don't need a screwdriver. There is a depinning tool. If you series divide or multiply. Okay. Did you series divide or multiply? So what we did is we literally just took an output and we just kept winding it off into all 8 inputs to see if we would lose any voltage, and we didn't. So everything stayed exactly the same. I was like, oh, that was anticlimactic. So there's a depinning tool made by Delphi, which is on DNF tool drawer in the tool section that you can buy. It looks a little different than the one that's on there, but it will take you to the new page. It's this guy right here. It does this, which I don't understand why. So you can so you don't break the tip, I guess, because they do tend to break when you're using them a lot. But this is the depinning tool we use. It works great. I've also got every other depinning tool that they make on Amazon, just because it seems like you can never have enough depinning tools, but that is the only one I use.
All right. For the reverse wire on the 2017 Corolla, it's a red wire. It's in the dash fuse box, and it's a Y40 pin plug, and the pin is the number 4. It's a red on the fuse box.
Wow, you're the guy, man.
There you go.
When you're testing for that wire, make sure you have a digital multimeter. One side black goes to ground, the other side red. Set your multimeter to
before you
12 volts. which is the solid lines with the dashes underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
Click it, that's DC, not 12 volts, but DC voltage.
Correct.
And then put it in reverse, and it should tell you the voltage, and then take it out, and it should. RC a voltage question, thanks guys. Oh no, so there you go. So yeah, we wanted to make sure that was right, and hey, who knew? And I called Jeff, and he's like, huh, who would have thought? Yeah, who knew, right? Apparently they do. Okay, which one? Okay. Hey, Dean and Fernando, putting a sub in a 2020 RAM. I have a Rockford Fosgate T750.1, but I also have an audio control LC6i. Should I just use the Rockford by itself and not upgrade doors yet? What do you think? If I was doing that, I would just use the I wouldn't use the LC6i. I would just run the sub amp by itself into that input, and you'd be perfectly fine to do that. It'll take a ton of voltage in. The only thing you want to check is see if there's an ANC module underneath the driver's seat. It looks like an amplifier. The non-premium sound systems as well as the premium sound systems have it. If it does have it, you are going to have to bypass it. I would probably check out the amp or the pack-audio version of the bypass to go in there. It is a...
Gracias, Jose.
And there again, 2020 is different. So I know it works up to a 2019. 2020 is a little different. So this might be the wrong information, but if it is the ANC CH01 because we were looking into a 2020 RAM that we have on the schedule to do here shortly, and it is not compatible like with Amp Pro, even though it has an 8-inch screen. But there you go. But yes, I would just use the T750.1 by itself. Can you get great sound with an RTA, or do you need a DSP? An RTA is just going to show you what the sound is. It's not an actual tool to improve your sound. It's a microphone that is going to look at the sound. If you have a radio in the dash, let's say has a 13-band EQ, yes, you can. We use the iTest mic all the time connected to our iPad. We put it in the dash. We do a quick little tune there. We play some pink noise. And you know, we adjust what we have. You play the game that's in front of you, and yeah, you get a really nice sound out of it. Do a little bit of time alignment, and move on. Does the DSP sound better? That's up to you. I mean, a DSP is definitely going to sound better. It's also 100 times more complicated to do.
Yeah, that one too. Alpine 309.
That has a 9-band parametric EQ.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a fun one because it's parametric. It also has adjustable Q. It's the only radio, Alpine is the only radio manufacturer that puts that in there. What a parametric is compared to a graphic, so like all the other ones have a graphic EQ, meaning you have a fixed number, you go up, you go down, that's it. There's nothing to do. A parametric EQ, you go up, you go down, you can adjust the Q, meaning how wide or how narrow it is, so you can, how much of the left and right frequencies you want to influence. So let's say you have a big problem and you adjust up into the center of it, and you go wide and pull down or pull up, it will pull all those frequencies. So that's why it's 9-band instead of 13, because with a parametric EQ you actually can have less adjustments needed because it will pull all the frequencies to the left or the right by adjusting the Q. On the Alpine, it gives you like narrow, normal, and wide, which is nice. And also you can adjust the center frequency. So let's say you have a problem at 350 hertz and not 300 hertz. Well, on a graphic EQ, if it's just fixed at 300, well, you're going to pull down 300 and hopefully fix it, but you could create more problems. With a parametric EQ, you can shift left or right in order to get closer to where the problem is. So, yay!
Alright, the microphone, that will be the audio control.
So there's two of them now.
There's two of them. Yeah, you should get the new one.
So the new one is the Studios. You can get them. So it's the U-Test mic, which is this one here. And the difference between the two is the U-Test mic is made to work with. It's a USB output, which comes with a micro USB and a USB-C. It is made to work with the iOS device, but you do have to have the camera connection kit, which is basically just the lightning to USB adapter, so you will need that. You can use it on Android if you have an app with the USB-C. You can use the micro USB, micro USB-C. It's Mac compatible, it's Mac Thunderbolt compatible, and it's Windows compatible. So they give you a couple different apps as far as audio tools on the iOS, REW on Windows, Smart Live, Mac and Windows. They just say Android apps because apparently there's no like specific Android app. And Spectro Foo. which I've never heard of, but that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
So this is the new one. It's actually cheaper than the iTest mic with the lightning adapter on it, because it doesn't have to have the lightning adapter on it. But if you're a Mac person or an Apple iPod, you know, and you have like iPads and all that other crap, just buy the one with the lightning. It does make things easier.
Yep.
But this is the new one.
All right, hey guys, 2014 Silverado, 9 volts, 8-inch factory screen. I want to amplify the doors without getting the loud chime. How can I do that?
Without getting the loud chime?
Yeah.
On what kind of car?
It's a Chevy Silverado,
What year?
2014.
Why wouldn't you just put a new radio in it? So on the Chevys, you can go in and okay, so on a 14, if you're dead set on keeping that factory radio, and obviously the Amp Pro doesn't work back that far, I'm assuming. If you use the rear speakers, the rear speaker output doesn't have the door chime, and it is full frequency. So what typically we would do, GM61, does it work on that? Pull up an Amp Pro.
2014.
Pull up 2014 before we go all crazy into this. Janet Jackson, Rhythm Nation, good too. Oh yeah, Janet. Yeah, but come on, that's like, I don't want to go back to 80s. Some 80s and 90s sometimes are just hard to listen to.
Alright, hang on.
I was gonna say, you're going the long way, aren't you?
No, why?
Looks like you're going the long way.
What year?
2014. Well, I dated Maestro RR to achieve all of this. Is there a better way, single option, or will I need multiple harnesses? Thank you for your help. Mazda CX-5, great sound. You know, an RR2 has, if it's compatible with Mazda, meaning you've gone to iData/Maestro and you've seen that the RR2 or RR will all work in that, it comes with everything you need. So there's no, like, it'll do steering wheel controls, it'll give you all the stuff that it's listed below on the left hand side. Tina, I'm old like you. I know, but it's like sometimes you just can't deal with, oh, you got the clicks on, huh?
Yeah.
What do you got? What are you looking for?
I'm trying. It's not working.
You're killing me.
Chevrolet.
You just
Chevy.
yell at it?
I put Chevy, and it's not working.
Really? What? Okay.
That's not working.
Okay. What kind of truck is it? It's the.
It's a Chevy Silverado.
Okay.
Come on, see? Nothing.
2014.
2014.
Yeah, boom, there it is. Search. The internet's gone.
Ooh,
stop.
pushing 50s, 40s. Wow, man.
Well, I'm knocking on its door, but I'm not there yet. So I'm okay. So
20 over here.
no, that's the Amp Pro for that. So yeah, you can do an Amp Pro GM61. So if you go to pack-audio.com and you can watch, we have Chevy. Chevy goes fast. So the Pack Amp Pro GM61, if you have the non-amplified or amplified, we have both videos showing you if either one up on the internet. Watch both, figure out what you have, and do that. That's the smartest thing to do. That way you won't get loud door chime. But what I was going to say is that if you come off of the rear speakers and then take... So what we did before the Amp Pro is we'd come off the rear speakers and then we'd take the front channel, driver's front channel output out of the radio. We'd take one of the speakers that we took out, we'd bury that up into the dash, firing it towards the floor. We'd fade the radio all the way to the rear. The chime will still come out of the speaker. The navigation, the doors, the OnStar, the Bluetooth calling will still come out of that speaker. You just won't get music out of it. And then you'll have normal chime volume and all that fun stuff. So that's how we would do that. And it was a lot of fun.
How do I get loud or deep bass with the Rockford T1 D412? And how do
the
calculate...
MTF1 kit, definitely just throwing that out there. Yeah, the 360 cams through the steering wheel controls. Yeah, apparently it'll also do, what was it, seat heaters? Or seat massage. So one of the things that they were asking about the other day was the seat massage still work, and it's like, yeah, it just doesn't have graphics for it, and the buttons will still work. It just doesn't. There's like it's a hidden display, and it just tells you levels. But yeah.
All right. So how do you get deep bass in the T1 D412, and how do you calculate for an error port?
Well, I mean, we were talking about that software earlier on, WinSD Pro. That would probably be the best place to go. Now, the thing that you have to keep in mind with that particular woofer, because it is Rockford Fosgate, most manufacturers, Rockford, Kicker, everybody, it doesn't matter whose name is on the woofer. If you're building a box and you have like, this is how much power I have, and you have a general idea of how much airspace you have at your access to, so you've done some pre-measurements, you can call the manufacturer like Rockford and say, hey, listen, I'm trying to design a subwoofer enclosure for your particular woofer. Can you help me out? I have this much power and I have about this much airspace that's going into this car. And they'll be like, sure, we have software. They basically have WinSD Pro sitting on their desk, and they'll type in some information and spit you out some numbers. So you can call and ask. It's not like they're just going, no, we're not going to help you. You were nice enough to buy their stuff. So what do you got?
Hi guys, Tony from Northern
Maine, where it's really cold.
Love the channel and have learned a lot. 2010 Tundra CM. What's a good choice for speakers? Put in a pair of Rockford P10s to replace the 12 kickers. With
Take your hand away from your mouth while you're talking, so
you hear me?
No, I don't. You're
really? They can hear me. You can.
I can't hear you. I'm off to the side. I'm getting all the. Answer the question.
All right, so I totally lost it.
I know. I couldn't understand what you were saying. A pair of Rockford Fosgate P10s to replace the Kicker 12s in the stock speakers.
Speakers? Like door speakers?
I'm thinking. Replace the 12 Kicker with stock
For the
speakers.
Tundra, I mean, Focal make the plug and play, and they actually work perfect. Comes with the bracket and everything. So...
What was that? We were discussing the first CDs. Plug and play is definitely plug and play. Kenwood Exelon, Kicker. If you're a Kicker fan, they're going to have new speakers in the KS line here in a couple months, a month or two.
Yeah.
Go back up to where it was talking about a CD. I saw something there. I don't know where it was. How many F-150s did you guys do this month? All of them. Basebox Pro will compensate for a flared port. So, Basebox Pro. Dean, we were discussing the first CD albums we purchased. Ooh. So, do you know what your first CD was?
No.
So, CD-wise, Too Short. Too Short, baby. I actually traded all my cassettes for CDs, and the only reason why I did it was because he had Too Short. You probably don't even know who he is. It's okay, it was cool, but no. I'm trying to think of the first CD I bought. I don't even remember that, but I just remember Too Short was the first CD I had. Techmaster PEB, of course, was a big CD. We sold hundreds of those. Do the Kicker CS components, Kicker 6.5, give low mid-bass since it's 10
100 watts
RMS? So the new Gold Series Kicker CS speakers do amazing sound out of those things.
Oh wow!
Life is Too Short. Yeah, LL Cool J. Yep. But no, Life is Too Short. Exactly. The blue cover. Yep, that was the one. No, those new CS. Like when we got those in, and we did a set of 5x7s in an F-150. Shocking. And we were like, dude, this guy didn't pay for this. They sounded really good. So yeah, they're nice. If upgrading speakers in a factory Alpine sound system in a 2019 Dodge Challenger with a sub, do I have to do anything special? Yeah. You have to get speakers that are subwoofers. It is a subwoofer in the door, so that 6x9 in the door is only going to play sub bass. Right now, the best replacement for that is the is the Kenwood Exelon 6x9. It gives you the option to play it as a subwoofer. There's 3 terminals on the back. You can use it as such, and then they do the same with the 3.5 in the dash, or the 2.5 in the dash, depending on what you have from the factory. But it is not it is a woofer. So whatever you put in there, make sure it's a woofer, meaning don't buy a set of 3-way 6x9s and try to put them in the doors of your car. They're not going to work. They're going to make sound, but the top, all the tweeters in the front aren't going to do anything. The other thing you have to keep in mind too is sometimes the ohm load is off. Personally, if it's 2019, I'd buy an Amp Pro for it. I'd put in all new amplifiers and just pull out that factory garbage. But that's just me.
Alright, where is the amplifier on the 2015 Accord Sport?
Where was it in that?
On the glove box.
Was it in the glove box?
Like, yeah.
Or was it in the glove box or the center console? I thought it was the center console. Maybe that was the Civic.
Yeah.
Check on the passenger area footwell next to the air conditioner. It might be there. Good evening from Oklahoma. Hey.
En la parte derecha. All right, hang on.
What did it say about the CES show? Hold on, Fernando. Do you keep drawing? All right, wait. Do you keep drawings of past Fernando Fancy Shoes holder mounts? No. No. I know we should. We should scan all those in, but we don't. I got the U-Test mic. What is the best app? So,
they tell you
for an iPhone, you know, on the back it does list it, but we use the Studio 6 digital, so it's like $5 for their app. That's what I use.
Under the center console. There you go.
So, like I said, yeah, under the center console. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, because it's the one facing towards in the passenger well. Yep. So it's old one was here, new one is here. Passenger footwell. Remember, because at the time we didn't have a harness for it, so I took the factory harness for the radio is close to the harness for it. It plugs in, kind of. You just have to break out some of the insides. But yep, that's where it's at. When going full active with components, how do you figure out the power handling of individual drivers? Well, the overall power handling of the speaker, meaning what they rated at as a whole, is usually across the board. So, with the exception of the tweeter, but you know, tweeters always run those at 0 dB. Never make them -5, 10, 0 dB on a tweeter. Tweeters don't need 200 watts. They don't at all. So once you have the FS and you set your gain properly, you're fine. Rock on. But I mean, really, at the end of the day, so let's look at it like this: like the best amplifier for the money is like a Wattage 5.1, has 70 watts by 2 of Class A. We put those on the Wattage tweeters in the front of that car, and in the front of the Ford Raptor, and it just lit those things up, man. They were just like, oh my god. So you just don't need a lot of power for a tweeter. And there again, if everything's crossed over properly and tuned properly, power really isn't the killer. It's the distortion. It's the crappy overdriving of the speaker. It's the heat of nothing working properly. Have you guys tested the Tesla Android head units? Thoughts? No, and not good. So as far as that goes,
I have nothing.
What do you this is the next for car? What do you think is the next thing for car audio next 2 to 5 years? Your thoughts? Ooh, so we had one of our reps in this week, and they were asking us what we thought about CES and all the cool new stuff that came out. Was there anything that we were like, yes, that's awesome? And you know, I had to think about it for a minute because like my brain wasn't set to think about that at the moment, and I went over to Fernando and I said, what do you think it was? And he immediately goes, dude, the new Kicker LOC. And I was like, oh yeah, exactly. So like the new Kicker LOC that's going to allow you to just take anything, shove it into it, and it's going to spit out a nice, awesome signal. So it DEQs and DSPs everything you need and gives you 2 channels of amazing audio. That's pretty awesome. I think the evolution of smarter DSPs in the next 2 to 5 years is probably what we're going to be looking at, because manufacturers have realized that like Amp Pros and ARs and whatnot are not going to develop at a speed that makes sense for them. So 200 watts to a tweeter, tell that to Brian at Arc Audio. Why, does he run 200 watts to his tweeters? Yeah. He does? I mean, he may. I don't know. I'll ask Brian. We're going to see him at, I love Brian. Brian's the best. Top secret stuff. So I don't know. I mean, naturally, just like you're going to see the evolution of speakers. Right, next 5 years is dealing with integration into what carbon. So yeah, like I was saying, I feel like the amplifier manufacturers that are relevant, meaning the ones that actually have engineering that develop things, not just the ones that like go to China and buy amplifiers and be like, hey, look, we got a 10K amplifier, whoopee. That stuff is always going to exist. Like that part of the world is going to be what it is. but it's everyone else that is going to be responsible for moving this industry forward. The people that actually hire engineers and have engineering staff are going to come out with, so like, for example, the reason why that LOC exists from Kicker is because they looked at what everyone else was doing. So they went to iData and they went to AMP and they saw what they were doing and who they wanted to hook their wagon to, and they were like, these guys aren't developing fast enough. Like, sure, we have AMP Pro for a limited amount of products. We have AR for a limited amount of products. We have Zen for a limited amount of products. But what about everything else? So does that mean that like the 20% of the industry that they're covering is all we're going to sell to? No. Hey, from Norway. So they came out with that LOC to be like, look, it doesn't matter what you throw at this. It will crunch it and it'll give you a flat signal output. Hey, we just got $19.99 from El Fernandez 919. Thank you.
Thank you, awesome. Buddy.
So thank you so much. That was cool. And we will have fun with that for sure. So I see the future being, if you would have asked me this last year, I would have said AMP Pro Zen and all that fun stuff was going to be where it's at. And now that we're like really entrenched with these guys and we're talking to them, we're seeing how slow that's evolving. For a lot of the cases, it's internal issues, not necessarily the fact that we want it. It's just they want to go in a different direction. So that's always going to be the case, that like these manufacturers are only going to spend so much money on research and development, and they want to look at what is going to give them the fastest return on investment. And building a whole new product category, which is AMP Pro, regardless of who the manufacturer is, they're having a hard time with that because they want to see a return on their investment immediately. So if you spend 10 grand to develop a AMP Pro, which is what this stuff costs, and you're not going to see a return on that for 2 to 3 years, whereas you could build a little widget over here that no one really wants, but they feel we do, but you'll see the return on investment immediately. That's where the problem is. So that's why I feel it's going to be up to the manufacturers. And there again, some of them are going to get it, some of them aren't. Some of them are more concerned with building stuff for their little ATVs and motorcycles, and they're like, that's the future, boy, boats and ATVs and motorcycles. And the reason for that is because it's simpler. There's no specialty in an ATV as far as like, you don't have to deal with ANC, and you don't have to deal with fake engine noise, which is the same, and you don't have to deal with, you just put a radio in, cut a bunch of holes, run a bunch of wires. Yes, it's not like easy, but it's like old school car audio in the sense that it's a no-brainer. It's easy to work on. And they're putting a lot of money into this. And apparently everyone in the world has an ATV sitting in their garage. You know, a little side-by-side.
I guess.
Where Anthony lives, they do. They all have them. Morel's overpriced. No, it's not. Not at all. It's not overpriced. It might be out of your price range, but nothing is overpriced. It costs what it costs. You can either afford it or you can't. You can see value in it or you don't. A Lamborghini is overpriced unless you have the money for one, in which case it's not. A Corvette might be overpriced. You might not see the value in it.
No, and what they're talking about is Hertz and Morel.
None of them are overpriced. It's what it costs. So
different sound, I guess.
Well, it doesn't matter. If a manufacturer says this is what this costs us to make, okay, then you can either see value in it or you don't. It's okay. They're not concerned with that. They always try to give you the best value for their money, but at the end of the day, they have to pay their bills too. So, like, prime example of that is when we went to Rockford Fosgate. And
Thank you, all, Fernandez.
Hey, when are you going to update the Power Series amplifiers? Because it's been like 6 years since they've done it, maybe longer than 6 years. And they're like, well, the thing is like they're already an expensive amplifier, and they still cost money.
I like that.
I'm not going to argue with that. But what we want to do to them is going to make them cost more. So is it worth what it's going to cost to do them? Will anybody buy them? So they just said no. Until the technology they want to put into those amplifiers gets down to a price point where they can keep the amplifiers either the same or cheaper, there's no reason to update them. So things cost what they cost, and that's just life. Everyone wants to give everyone a break, but they can't. So we run into that problem all the time when people want to get stuff installed by us, and it's like, this is what it costs us to install this stuff in your car. And they're either like, cool, let's do it, or they're like, no, I don't want to spend that much money, you guys are crazy. And it's like, okay, that's fine. Whatever. It's all right, you know, it's it's what it costs us to do business. It's what it costs us to turn on our lights. It's what it costs us to make my salary, make his salary, pay the rent, and all the other stuff. All that is factored in. So, you know, when someone says something costs too much, boss is underpriced. And there you go. That's a great point. It actually is underpriced for what you're getting. Why they make it so cheap is just ridiculous because they're not making any money on the product.
I like that
so,
one. Man. You guys are.
Yeah.
The GB60 is amazing.
Price does not dictate value. No, it doesn't dictate value at all. No, it doesn't, because there's a lot of things that are valuable that don't actually cost a lot of money. But, there again, it all comes down to whether you see value in that price point or not, whether you see value in that knick-knack that you want to buy. So,
thank you, Jason.
You know. All right, guys, that takes us to an hour of this special Friday edition. It's been a lot of fun. I love your guys' questions. It's always a blast to do these things. Now, however, we're going to call it a night. We got to get going. I got some miles I got to run. He's got to go beat up the kid. Nah. Anyways, Dean Short answers for more questions. I know, I'm sorry, but it's like you want to make sure you explain it to the point where it's not a second question. No, we're at 55. We're good. Anyways, everyone loves Audio Frog GB. Well, everyone loves Andy, so you gotta love Andy and you love his stuff. You guys are the best. Tell Haley thank you. Will do. I won't see her tonight. Anyways, DNF Tool Drawer is a place where you can find all the cool tools that we use, such as the cool tools that we use. Teespring/store is a place where you can go to get cool t-shirts like the new one that says, I know the Jeff Smith, where's my CD, Jeff? And Patreon is a place you can go to support the show, as well as we'd like to thank our guy here,
Jason.
No, Fernandez.
Oh, El Fernandez.
Fernandez for giving us
Thank you,
dropping
Jason.
us a 20. Thank you so much for making it worthwhile. You guys are
bye.
all great. No show tomorrow, but Monday we'll be back on Facebook, and that starts the 2-week countdown to Long Beach Knowledge Fest, which means the show is going to be brought to you by Audio Control. That's right, Audio Control, fine makers of audio products. And don't forget, we still have the amplifier to give away. So if you haven't had time to watch the Audio Control video, our tour of Audio Control, make sure you go do that and leave a comment. That way you can be registered to win the amplifier. We have the LC 1.800 that is autographed by as many people as we could find there that wanted to sign it. We're going to sign it too. Haley signed it, which makes it pretty much, priceless. But to win it, you do have to leave a comment. So just leave a comment. We're going to go through and we're going to announce the winner when we get back on the Monday the 9th. So you have a nice long weekend. Something to do tomorrow night is make sure to just go watch that Audio Control video and leave a comment. A constructive comment. Don't go like, dude, it's awesome. No, leave a comment that, tell us what you thought. Because it's those comments that help us when we go to do more of these videos where we get invited out to these facilities that make sure we shoot the right videos. Everyone commented on the kicker video. We read all those comments. That allowed us to make a better video when we went to Audio Control. So in order for us to keep making better videos and keep getting inviting to these things.
Yeah. We're going to be in Knowledge Fest.
Yep,
so,
we'll
definitely.
Fest. So
Beach,
excited.
Spanish classes also. So definitely.
Dude, we got so much stuff going
Ricardo
on.
and it's going to be good.
But we'll talk more about that on Monday because right now it is time to go. End the show, Fernando.
Bye, guys.
Bye.